Hey guys, Fernando doing another video for More Survivalist, and this is going to be a video about the bump stock ban, also about gun Fudds and Fanatics. Now, I try not to do videos about politics, and society is pretty much divided and very polarized. It's very difficult to have intelligent, level-headed discussions and exchange ideas because people really lose their cool pretty fast. So I try not to do that anymore. But for me, guns are not political. Guns are not about politics. Guns for me are about freedom. And if you take away, restrict, or compromise or reduce my rights to that in any way, you are taking away little by little my freedom. So I feel very strongly about that. And I don't care about words. I don't care what you say. Words, talk is cheap. I care about actions. If you are a person that says lots of things that people want to hear, but at the end of the day you are restricting my my rights as a firearms owner in any way, we're not in the same tune. We're not buddies anymore. You're messing with something that is no longer political for me. I don't care what you say you are. I care that you're taking away freedom from me when you do that, and that's no joke. That's a big deal. At least for some of us it is. And I'm pretty open-minded. I care about this no matter where it is. If it's happening in Italy with a new prime minister like the one they have now, more gun-friendly, improving some of the laws over there regarding firearms ownership, and making laws better for self-defense. He's even saying that people should be shooting back criminals and defending themselves. Not the kind of thing politicians often say, but when they do, it's good news. Same thing in Brazil with Bolsonaro now, another guy that's pro-gun, and he has some good changes in that regard for Brazil, things that should be celebrated. And sadly, when the opposite happens, it's the same thing. It's bad news. Doesn't matter where it is. Unfortunately, it's in the United States. It's been going on for some time. There's been talks. I think it's already being signed, or pretty much it's almost a done deal. But the thing is, bump stocks are going to be banned, and you're going to be having like 90 days to surrender or destroy them, or not, or if not, you're a criminal. I mean, it is the way it is. And the thing is, what I was saying about before, people being okay with this, and that's where gun Fudds come in. A gun Fudd is a person that is involved in firearms. He likes firearms, but he's okay. A gun Fudd would be a person that is okay with firearms being made illegal, restricted, and banned, as long as it's not affecting their particular kind of gun, the guns that they like. So, for example, a perfect example of a gun Fudd would be a hunter that uses his bolt-action rifle, his little double-barrel shotgun. He likes hunting. He's okay with that, and he doesn't care if everything else gets banned. Those semi-automatic rifles, those ARs, AKs, all that stuff, ban it all, doesn't care. The infamous Zumbo, who said, a writer for Guns and Ammo, he said that ARs were terrorist weapons and they should be banned. A gun Fudd is basically a traitor. He's someone within your ranks, within your community, that's selling you out. And his opinion has 1,000 times the weight of someone that is openly saying, I don't like guns, I don't care about guns, I don't even know the first things about guns, I just want those things banned. That guy's not sounding reasonable. When you have someone that is a figure that is making a living within the gun community, maybe an Olympic shooter wants everything banned, as long as it's not his favorite little .22 rifle for his sport shooting. That guy has a lot of weight when he's talking on TV, mainstream media, and the other channels online and such. He is a traitor, and he's selling you out because he doesn't feel, at the end of the day, for him, guns are not about freedom. Guns are toys. For that kind of person, it's about a hobby, it's about a sport, basically a toy. It's not freedom, it's not individual liberties, it's not about the Second Amendment. That kind of thing he does not care about. Now, what I saw recently is that besides Fudds, you have Fanatics. And it's different from a fanatic. A fanatic is someone that willingly resigns and gives away logic and reason and common sense, simply so as to adjust his narrative to the one that is proposed by his figure of adoration. Okay? So a fanatic may be someone that knows a lot about guns, maybe he has a lot of knowledge, and he even believed in the Second Amendment at some point, but now that he's being told to give that up, he's giving it up. And it is sad, it is pathetic, but it's happening. This is not from something that I'm pulling out from Democratic Underground. This is from ARFCOM, from AR15.com, and a gun website. And I know that's the internet, and these are all random, nobody people online that basically don't matter. But this is a guy that's been a member since 2005, has over 7,000 posts. Then the guy says, title, "You don't deserve a bump stock." Okay, so it's like a statement, kind of trying to convince himself that people don't deserve them anymore. And he says, "That's right, I said it, like I dared said it. If you can't control your emotions long enough to see this challenge in the court system, then you probably don't have the impulse control necessary to own firearms in the first place. What a bunch of hysterical wailing over the opening shots of this battle. This is a setback, not a defeat. Let it run through the USSC." Okay, so the guy is at a point, he's trying to convince himself that it's okay that this is happening, and he goes a step further and says that you probably don't deserve guns at all in the first place. You don't have the control. You don't have the impulse control necessary to own guns at all. So he's already opening the door for the possibility of guns being banned, further. Because people don't have the control, we should have more gun bans. We should have more restrictions on what kind of gun and accessory we can use. That's the kind of guy that is a fanatic. He's giving away, he's resigning to logic and common sense just so as to adjust to the narrative that his figure of adoration, his idol, is now practicing. Another one that I find this kind of thing fascinating, really. Now, this is from a guy that obviously understands how bump stocks work. In case you're not familiar, a bump fire stock works the following way. It's basically a loose fit stock, right? That has a little bit of give and allows for a little bit of movement back and forth. So when you pull the trigger, the recoil of the gun makes it move back and forth, and the trigger hits your finger on its own, right? And that makes it fire without you moving at all. So it's moving, the gun is moving instead of the finger. You have a gun, you have a trigger, you have your finger. You pull the trigger with your finger and you fire. But you can also grab the gun, pull the gun forward a little bit, it's gonna be firing the same thing. The thing is, this is one trigger pull per discharge of the gun, right? Semi-automatic fire. There's people that are able, and probably if you're anything of a shooter, happened to you at some point, maybe it happened accidentally even. There's guys on YouTube and they do it. If you have your stock and you don't push the stock against your shoulder and you leave a little bit of room and you keep your finger in a fixed position and you move it forward and you find that sweet spot, you can make that oscillation of using the recoil of the gun and the way you're holding it. It's going to be making an oscillation movement where it's going to be hitting your finger and using the recoil of the gun to do so, and just like a very fast shooting, right? There's guys doing this with their belt loop. They keep the finger hooked and the gun at waist level and pulling the forend a little bit forward and finding that sweet spot where the oscillation of the recoil and the gun makes that movement. Now this guy, going back to people, finding ways to twist logic and reason and words so as to somehow make a square fit in a circle, This guy, now this is a member that's been a member since 2007, has 22,000 posts, and is a silver member. And the title is, "So you won't vote for Trump over a bump fire stock ban? ? You are fighting the wrong battle." The guy is upset not about his gun rights being infringed. He's not upset about the bump fire stock ban. He's not upset about that. And there's guys that say those things are toys. I don't care if they're banned. They're not accurate, you know. So they convince themselves. But this guy is upset about the possibility of Trump eventually losing votes over this. Again, maybe he's a person that believes in the Second Amendment, but he's ready to give that up as long as it fits the narrative that he's told he has to now follow. And he says this is priceless. If people really want to get shitty about things, bump fire stocks and bump fire in general, we'll say all types of bump fire, actually makes your finger an auto-sear trip. So the guy is technically knowledgeable. He knows about guns and how they work, and you know how what a sear is. The stationary position of your finger makes it a sear trip. What's a trigger at that point? Question mark. So he gets even philosophical as of what is a trigger. You know. What is a trigger at that point? It effectively becomes the sear, and your finger is a trip. So he's saying, makes your finger an auto-sear trip. The guy is saying that this turns magically your freaking finger is now an illegal gun part, is an auto-sear trip. Your finger has to be cut off by the ATF because it's turning your gun into an automatic weapon. The creation of an external device that is actually an attached part of the gun to make this happen is no different than a machine gun. This guy should be on CNN making his points about why this is this is a good idea, because it's making your finger into a sear trip, to an auto sear trip. That's all they have to argue in regards to machine gun function. The law does say something about each pull of the trigger, but they can easily argue that the bump fire stock converts the trigger into an auto sear. The guy it's amazing the way some people, and I guess it makes sense, so it's name Z Dead Babe, some stupid name, like arguing that your finger is now an auto sear trip. You know what? Obama, you heard of the guy? Obama, he's probably making reference about that, because he says something about, the law does say something about each pull of the trigger. Yes, it does say something about the pull of the trigger. It says that semi-automatic fire is one trigger pull per round discharge, and you know perfectly well it does say that. That's why you're like dismissively saying something about each pull of the trigger. The guy knows what I know, which is that Obama at one point tried to ban bump fire stocks as well. Bump stocks he tried to ban them as well. Obviously, at some point, Obama saw footage of a bump fire stock being used, and he went, "Oh, wait a minute, that's a machine gun. It's firing out automatically. This is not possible. How is this legal? We have to ban these things. That's a machine gun. That should be illegal." He went to the ATF, and the ATF explained, "Sir, I know how it looks like, but the thing is this: an automatic gun, automatic fire means that one trigger pull, continuous fire, boom, 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 fires automatically on its own with just one trigger pull until it empties the magazine. Semi-automatic fire is legal pretty much in every civilized country of the world. Semi-automatic fire means that for each pull of the trigger, there's one round being discharged." And Obama must have gone, "Oh, wait, that's not what I'm seeing here. Look how fast it goes." And someone explained to him, "Yes, but that's still one trigger pull, one round being discharged. That's semi-automatic fire. We cannot ban that." And Obama must have gone, "So we can't ban it?" "No, because of the trigger finger semi-automatic thingy. That's simply the definition of words in the world as it exists today." "Okay, so we can't ban it, right?" "No, we can't, sir." Now, the interesting thing is, Trump being Trump, he went and said, "I want to ban this." Sir, we cannot ban it because of the same thing we explained to Obama. It's semi-automatic fire. You cannot ban semi-automatic fire in the United States because that's insane. I don't give a fuck. I want that banned. Rewrite everything, make up words, make up new definitions, make it somehow, and we have our friend here in ARFCOM finding an excuse, an explanation, a bullshit way around words as to make semi-automatic fire, automatic fire somehow. So that's what's happening right now. That's what we have people doing, and yeah, it's unfortunate. It's not the end of the world, you know, but it's just one of those, you know, kind of red flag things that makes you realize that, you know, you just lost a little bit of your gun rights, and some of this it sucks. It's not good. You know, just like the Italy thing or the Brazil thing, that's positive, that's good. Whenever your gun rights are being restricted, especially in the United States, that's not something you would be looking forward to. But some people, because they're fanatics, because, guys, a fanatic is someone that will give away everything. A fanatic is someone that is literally willing to drink poison Kool-Aid because his figure of adoration told him to do so. Don't be a gun fud, don't be a fanatic. That's going to be all. Subscribe to the channel. Take care. See you on our next video.